Fed Chair Jerome Powell is in Washington today, where he spoke at a capital framework for large banks conference. Powell's remarks come as calls grow for him to step down from President Trump and from some lawmakers as well. Now, I want to bring in CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady. Kelly, nice to have you today. Did it surprise you that Powell did not comment on pressure from Trump to potentially step down?
Not really. Chair Powell, he tends to keep a very even keel. I'll also highlight that this is what we call the quiet period ahead of the Federal Reserve's interest rate decision that is going to come a week and a day, so a week from tomorrow. And basically, the quiet period means that all Federal Reserve chair and board members cannot comment on monetary policy, interest rates, or anything like that. And so the fact that there is pressure from the White House around those particular areas, I think might be a little bit hairy. And it also gives a reason for the Fed chair to sort of stay clear of all of those things. It is interesting, though, this particular conference, it's about this capital structure when it comes to big banks. I know that most people at home are thinking like, oh, what a snore. Who cares about that? It's actually a really important discussion. It is about how much cash and debt these big banks are required to have on their balance sheet. And that becomes really important when you and I want to go and take large sums of money out from the bank to make sure that they have their risks managed properly, the cash on hand to serve their clients' needs. It tends to be, I think, a little bit nerdy, but that's really what this conference was about today versus more of the I think more prominently discussed interest rate decisions.
Right. Well, take nerdy, because there's so much we can learn from nerdy. I mean, I know you call yourself a nerd, Kelly, so we learned so much from you, so that's okay. So as we mentioned, President Trump is hosting the Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. at the White House today for, of course, trade talks. So how crucial is this trade relationship, and is a deal possible ahead of this August 1st deadline that's really approaching?
So I was just looking up the magnitude of the trade that the U.S. does with the Philippines, and they are not one of our top trading partners when it comes to imports or exports. They're actually in the 30s. So sure, no trade relationship is unimportant by any means, but when it comes to sort of those big names that we keep talking about, like the EU, Mexico, Canada, China, the Philippines is not in that category. However, the U.S. is a very important trading partner to the Philippines. And of course, that is, I'm sure, going to be a topic of conversation today between these two leaders. Now, I think Nancy said it perfectly in that segment before we got on with each other. These deals take a lot of negotiation and details to be worked out. I think it's possible that there could be a framework. We have heard frameworks announced with a number of different countries. But yeah, we're looking at a 20% tariff come August 1st. That is up from what we had expected before. It's possible, but we also know that these the White House folks who are leading these trade negotiations have said that they're looking for quality over quantity of deals.
We'll see what happens. It's a big earnings week on Wall Street with some major companies reporting. Coca-Cola earnings beat Wall Street's estimate. So what is their outlook going forward?
So they reaffirmed their full year outlook. I did think it was interesting that even though they beat estimates, their volume actually contracted. So revenue, of course, part of that is how much something costs. And because prices have risen when it comes to their products, versus year over year, their volume actually contracted in certain areas like North America. Europe, though, was really bolstering things. So I just listened to the earnings call with the CEO. He said, they're seeing a resilient consumer, but they are seeing pressure in low income groups. And that's sort of a story that you're hearing across a lot of different companies this earnings season. I will note they did confirm they are creating a cane sugar product that the president has talked about before for the Coca-Cola. That was sort of a big announcement today that consumers can look forward to in the future.
Yeah, and I'm sure the president will look forward to that one as well. Kelly O'Grady, thank you so much for your time today.